ou você do chat gosta de aposta, saiba que a BetBoom tá fazendo uma parada sinistra.
Leo 3.
Eles fizeram um seguro aposta. O que é o seguro aposta? Se você fizer uma aposta de até R$50 no jogo de PEN contra PSG e você errar, eles te devolvem o dinheiro. E se você acertar, você pega o lucro. Ou seja, você pode botar R$50 na PEN pela emoção e ter o dinheiro de volta. Basicamente é isso. A promoção vai até o dia do jogo, se eu não me engano, tá? Então, caso seja na hora do jogo, já acho que a promoção não está ativa, tá? Na hora do jogo. Mas antes vai estar. Beleza?
Como fala sobre o Viego e Lillia kkkk.
Então, eu tenho o vídeo aqui no tempo. Ó. Cadê?
Very good results on Viego too. So once again, let's go and have a look at Viego's stats, right? Because people are saying, oh my god, Viego is such a trash champ. It's because you don't know the game. No offense. It's because you don't know the game. So one of the best counters to Lillia is...
Mas não mostra aqui contra a Lillia.
Oh, Viego is such a trash champ. It's because you don't know the game. No offense. It's because you don't know the game. So one of the best counters to Lillia is actually Viego, right? Weak against Lillia here, but you have to look at top regions too, right? One of the best counters to Lillia inside the game thematically has always been Lillia. You can't see because I need to log in, but let's have a look at like all. Okay, it's 40%. So maybe not on the stats, but for us it was. For us it was. So maybe they're right. Maybe they're right. Okay? Maybe Viego's fucking trash. Right? Maybe Viego's fucking trash. It's 10 games. Right? But that was our read on the situation. That was our read on the situation. Okay. Calm down. Okay, calm down. That was our read on the situation. So our three plans were Malkine to Lillia.
Ficou fudido. Comentário. Ficou fudido.
But just a reminder once again, guys. It's a best of 5. We just had a 7-0 as year last game, right? So, my bot lane is meant to get push bot 2v2. My bot lane is meant to get push bot 2v2.
Contra Z.
But my bot lane loses push 2v2. Gets solo killed. Gets solo killed again holding the wave 1v2. And then my bot is 1-4. Okay? So I do want to say, okay, maybe the Viego pick was bad. Viego is not playing into range champions. We're playing Viego into Lillia, and we have so much setup for this Viego, right?
Peraí, como é que é?
Viego is not...
Viego não está jogando contra campeões ranged. Alistar e Caçante, que são os milis. Alistar não morre, Caçante também não. Cork é mega range, EZ é mega range, Lillia não. Pô. Deixa eu ouvir mais.
Viego into Lillia, and we have so much setup for this Viego, right? We have Jhin, we have Nautilus that can lock a champion down. You can play for resets. You also have Nasus Wither into champions like Corki, into champions like Lillia. And you also win side, right? So you're meant to push 2v2 bots, but we're 1-4 bots. Our top counter pick matchup is 0-1, but mid matchup is fine. Jungle matchup is 0-0-0. So here's my question, right? If we didn't have a game where my bot lane starts off 1-5, right? 1-5, and the game is completely even, and my Ezreal is not 4-2.
Porra, se minha avó tivesse 2 rodas, ela era uma bicicleta, pô. Se ela cagasse tijolo, eu tinha um prédio. Porra. Deixa eu entender isso aqui.
What I actually want to do is also go over Pain vs VKS. Because I know BTS is live right now. Right? Like, I know BTS is live right now. But I feel like people actually have no idea what happened in the grand finals. Like, literally no idea. Like, literally no idea. So I feel like it's really good content for me to go over the grand final games. What do you guys think? Because I feel like a lot of people are talking shit, but they don't really understand like what's happening, you know?
Vamos entender então. Tô curioso
Right, so
agora.
this series was really interesting for me because like, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over the Pain vs VKS series. Very disappointing series for me. We went 3 points to Pain and 1 point to VKS, and the series ended up only going to 4 games. And I know a lot of people were really curious about the series, and I think I saw a lot of like misinformation, especially around like why picks are good, what picks work, what picks don't work. And the truth is, for me, like Pain played a really bad series. That's my honest truth, guys. I thought I would still go over it because I think it's something that everyone wants to watch, you know. For me, Pain played really, really bad. If they're playing a good game, I think we should have got 3-0'd because we were playing very, very terribly. And for me, Pain is a team with a lot of inherent flaws in their game that is really exploitable if you know what to do, if you know what to exploit, and if you know what to look for, right?
Tá. Então ele acredita que a PEN teve uma série ruim, só que a KEYD foi pior. Ele acredita que a PEN é um time totalmente e completamente explorável, mas a KEYD não foi capaz de explorar, mesmo sendo o time dele, que ele sabe as fraquezas.
So, let's have a look at the draft first, because I know this is like the biggest thing, right? People are saying, oh my god, like this Smolder, we gave Smolder 3 games in a row.
Caminho.
The way Pain operates is Pain is a team that don't really know how to play side lane. I think that most people that actually know high-level League of Legends agree with me when I say that Pain is not a team that plays 3 lanes really well. And it's been something that's been known in CBLOL for many years.
Isso é.
So the way they operate is they need to play through mid-pro and they need to play 2 lanes. Quite often.
Só pra dar um parâmetro para vocês, isso que ele tá falando é verdade. Tá? A PEN, durante muitos anos, eles realmente não sabiam jogar side, eles só sabiam jogar pelo mid. Acontece que, hoje, o jogo ele é jogado pelo mid. Em todas as regiões do mundo. A necessidade de você jogar side, ela não é tão grande hoje em dia quanto era antigamente. O meta ajuda um pouco nisso também. Isso torna a PEN um time ruim? Não. Eles tinham esse problema muito relacionado ao Weiser. Tanto é que era assim que a Loud explorava a PEN. Vocês lembram quando a gente mostrou aqui na live aquele Dragon, o terceiro Dragon, que sempre o Weiser descia e o robô ficava? Aí o robô abria 2k de gold e meio de vantagem no Weiser. Isso faz parte de você saber jogar side. Entendeu? Jogar side não é apenas você fazer split push. Jogar side é você saber qual wave você puxa, qual wave você dá slow push, qual wave você dá fast push, quando você rota, quando você dá fake rotation. Em suma é isso. Obviamente, né? Tem muitas variáveis, né? Dentro disso aí. Mas em resumo é isso. Eu acho que a PEN entende de side. Eu não acho que a PEN não entende de side. Eu só acho que eles não são tão bons nisso. E eu acho que eles são um time muito voltado para teamfight. Então, toda vez que eles veem uma janela de juntar e lutar, eles vão. É a maneira como eles jogam. Pro Brasil, isso não é ruim. Tanto é que eles ganharam assim.
Templo mandou R$5.
Fala,
Só
capitão.
falta ele mandar que o time dele tomou o unluck do Luscão, tá de sacanagem.
Pô, como é que eu fico sério com essas porra, mano?
Doug mandou
Lá
R$2.
vem outro, filho da puta.
Seeel acha que está em uma região major, aonde X campeão ganha de Y sempre, sendo que estamos no BR.
Sem a voz do Bolsonaro é mais de boa. Sim, aqui no Brasil a gente tem o nosso próprio jeito de jogar, né? Tipo, isso é uma parada que o Peter falava muito. O Exódia funcionava muito assim, mas eu entendo que a gente não é parâmetro, né? Até porque são tempos muito diferentes. O Peter, ele tinha uma planilha com expectativa de matchup. Então eu vou dar um exemplo que foi a primeira vez que eu vi, eu nunca esqueci, quando ele apresentou isso. O matchup era Varus e Thresh contra Caitlyn Karma. A expectativa do matchup é a Caitlyn Karma ficar na frente, pelo menos 15 de farm, levando a torre aos 10 minutos, naquela época. Quando a gente jogava de Varus e Thresh contra Caitlyn Karma, a gente levava a torre, aqui no Brasil. Então a gente aprendeu que, quando a gente fosse lá para fora, essa era a expectativa dos outros times. Que em 90% dos casos a Caitlyn Karma ganhava, mas aqui no Brasil a gente conseguia ganhar de Varus e Thresh. Lá fora não. Até porque a gente testou. Então, tipo, isso tem sentido sim, o que o mano do Donate mandou aí, tá?
When they are the best is normally when they have 3
Lá fora vocês sempre tomavam pau? Calma aí. A gente chegou na fase de grupo do Mundial, a gente perdia bastante pra Rússia, mas a Rússia era muito boa, porra. Os caras chegaram na quarta de final do Mundial. Calma aí, né?
options available, right?
A gente perdeu... Ó, 2015, a gente ganhou da Rússia, perdeu pra Turquia. 2016, perdemos pra Rússia. 2016, segundo split. Ganhamos da Rússia, ganhamos da Turquia na fase de grupo. A Rússia foi pro outro bracket, enfrentamos a Turquia na final, ganhamos da Turquia e fomos pro Mundial. Aí a Rússia chegou na semifinal. Na quarta de final do Mundial.
Three kind of conditions. One is mid priority, early game mid priority to enable the early game. Because Pain is a team that really want to snowball from early mid game. Because their mid late game macro is actually quite horrendous. They really want to snowball.
Apenas o time que quer fazer snowball no early mid game.
From early mid game. Because their mid...
O macro deles mid late game é muito horroroso. Cara, discordo forte. Eu acho o early game da Pain bom. Eu acho o mid game da Pain horrível. E eu acho o late game deles bom. Tipo, eu não gosto de como a Pain... Eu entendo a abordagem da Pain pro mid game. Mas eu não gosto. Tipo, eu não acho bom. Mas eu entendo eles fazerem. Mas eu não acho bom.
Late game macro is actually quite horrendous. And they don't really play side. And two, they're a team that wants two engage tools. So oftentimes what they want to be looking for is they want to be two engage
Eles são um time que quer ter duas ferramentas de engage. Então cure mais um.
tools. So often
Ontem o Tokers falou que o Core JJ foi pedir treino na sala de vocês. O Absolute não acreditou e começou a gastar o Tokers? Ué, mas é verdade. Mano, a gente... O único time do Mundial que a gente não pegou treino foi a T1. Mas a gente treinou com a Samsung, a gente treinou com a RNG, a gente treinou com o Flash Wolves, a gente treinou com a TSM, que na época era até o Double Lift lá, e o Micão solou o Double Lift level 1, de se vir contra a Lúcia, não sei nem como isso aconteceu. Porque a sala da TSM, ela era de parede com a nossa. Tipo, era a sala da frente. A sala da frente era a sala da TSM. E alguém desmarcou com eles e eles vieram pedir treino com a gente, entendeu?
oftentimes what they want to be looking for is they want to be looking for like
Ontem o falou que o solo uso também. Na realidade, um negócio que aconteceu que foi meio bizarro. Eu acho que eu já falei isso pra vocês. Quem viu o antigo meu com certeza sabe disso. Um treino que a gente jogou contra o Uzi e o Mata, se eu não me engano, o Micão e o Joxa deixaram eles 0-12 e perderam a torre aos 12 minutos. 13 minutos, eu acho. Mas o Uzi tava 0-7 e o Mata tava 0-5. O Micão e o Joxa conseguiam matar eles, mas perderam a torre. Perdi a torre. Tipo assim, isso aconteceu muito, mano. Parecia que os caras estavam jogando com a gente, tipo assim, não posso matar eles. Tá ligado? Parecia que era isso. Não podemos matar eles. E aí eles ficavam jogando em wave, jogando a gente embaixo da torre, tá ligado? Batendo na torre até morrer. Aí morria embaixo da nossa torre. E aí levava a torre, mano. Era bizarro.
Ash or Jin, like engage support with engage jungle.
Aí no fim a gente ia ver o Micão lá. 7-0, use. 0-7, use com mais gols que o Micão. Pô, bizarro, mano. Bizarro, bizarro.
Or engage support, engage AD carry with a carry jungler, right? So for example, if Pain has, for example, like Misfortune Nautilus with a Lillia, they don't perform so well. this is a team that doesn't perform so well with one source of engage. So they always try to get two sources of engage, and to enable karaoke, the best solution that Pain has found was to play an engage AD carry so that they can play AP junglers. Does that make sense? I didn't need to rewatch the game, but I did rewatch the game a lot of times, but I just came to the same conclusion, really. So, like, Smolder is a really bad pick for this team, because Smolder is a champion that scales.
Cara, eu não acho, mano. Eu acho que Smolder é um pick excelente pra Pain. Porra, que mundo que eu tô vivendo, caralho. Que porra é essa, porra? Caralho.
That has no tools, it doesn't get mid priority, and it loses a lot of lanes. It's just a scaling pick. Now, that's point one, but point two is also that...
Sabe qual é o negócio? Talvez Smolder não fosse um pick tão bom pra Pain. Só que Smolder é um pick excepcional contra KEYD. Sabe por quê? Porque o Dinquedo, ele tava num momento incrível o campeonato inteiro, eu elogiei o Dinquedo. E o Leleco não tava num momento bom. E o Leleco não tem experiência para jogar contra um pick tipo Smolder. Você tem que ser malicioso, você tem que dar recall num tempo diferente, puxar uma wave antes dele, conseguir um roaming, conseguir snowballar o jogo, conseguir rodar o jogo. Tem que ser esperto, você precisa de experiência. Então, pra mim, Smolder é o pick perfeito contra KEYD. Até porque o Leleco não tá numa fase boa. Não tava, né?
Smolder as a champion, when played really well, is very, very fucking OP, guys. For example, when Chovy played Smolder, I think this pick was like absurdly OP. He had like 200 stacks at 19 minutes. But when Pain played Smolder, this pick was the worst fucking piece of shit I've ever seen. Like, I know Dinquedo very clearly likes the champion, but he played it really badly. That's just the honest truth, and I can show inside the game.
Quero ver.
He had like 110 stacks at like 26 minutes.
Em jogo foi isso.
The guy was like completely boosted on the champion. But people don't really see this kind of stuff, right? So, how does Pain win games? They have two sources of engages. They're very, very good at playing team fights because they have really good individual skill. Like individual skills. They know their opportunities and they know what to do individually, right? They have really good individual players, so they know how to play team fights well. And I think it's shined throughout the series. And they really thrive off mid priority. So based off this information, how do we kind of need to draft around Pain?
Pablo Marcio.
For me, the way that you draft around Pain is very simple. One, you try not to give them Ashe. And if you give Ashe, you don't give them, like, you try not to give them Jhin. If they take Jhin, you take a bot lane with push. So that's the third kind of condition. Pain is a team that functions a lot better with bot push. Because Curry doesn't play around
Pablo Marcio.
mid very well. Curry doesn't really know how to play around mid. So he's a support player that really needs priority on bot lane to get vision and river and to allow Carriok to play the game. So, to be honest, when I saw Smolder in the game, I thought that the draft was already over. And if you actually break down the draft, Pain Gaming is playing Sejuani vs Lillia, so it's like losing jungle matchup, out-farmed, with no mid priority, so Lillia can scale for free, right? So we're already really, really happy. We have mid push, we have like free scaling jungle, and Lillia is probably the best jungle in the patch, in this patch, in 14-15. And then we have counter pick AD carry.
Não acho que ele é o melhor.
And Ezreal is not an OP pick. Ezreal is just like, Titan is like Solon and Ezreal, but it's not a champion that's OP. It's an okay blind if you can play it with Leona or Braum. So you're essentially playing Ezreal blind with no mid push, a tempo.
Olha o Hobbit, mano.
Doug mandou R$2.
Fala.
Ele fala que Snau é um pick-up no meta BLZ, mas é campeão mais confortável e que habilita um player maqueri principal jogador do adversário, a ele deixa o pen?
Sim. Sim. Só que, tipo, você entende que nesse draft aqui ele não pode banir EZ, ele tem que estar pronto pra jogar contra.
Jungler
Por exemplo, Lillia não acho que é o melhor pick pra jogar com 3Z.
that is going to have no mid push to invade, and you're going to get counter-picked AD carry and counter-picked support because we're red side. So we end up taking the Jhin, and why do we end up taking the Jhin? Because Jhin is really, really OP with AP junglers. So what we're saying is, okay, we can counter-pick Ezreal with a champion like Kalista. We can even opt to pick a champion like Misfortune and get Prio. But because we can get prior
Yasukawa
with support counter pick anyway.
D.
We can secure support counter pick with more setup on bot side, which allow our AP jungle to play very aggressively. So yeah, Lillia in this patch was like the most highly contested jungle across every region, right? It's a higher tier than Brand. It is the highest contested AD jungle, and the only
56% de presença no 14.15. Vamos ver, tipo, Maokai. 70% de presença. Porra. Vamos ver, sei lá, Brand. 60%. Vamos ver Zyra. Mas não é possível que Zyra... Zyra é um pouco menos. Sejuani. Menos também. Então, Lillia era o terceiro pick da jungle. Não, vamos ver, vai. Lillia era o terceiro pick da jungle. Com maior presença. Segundo? Segundo? Brand era 28? Eu vi errado? Ah, 28%. Eu vi um hate, pode crer. Que jungle mais que tem? Não sei que jungle mais que tem. Viego. 10%. E sim, 3%. E dali 40%. Bom contra a Lillia. Tá, o segundo maior champion, vai?
kind of
Vai em Tools. Depois Pix e Bans. Tô em Tools. Só tem carro aqui pra mim. Ah, buy patches. Ah, aqui, 14.15. Na jungle, Maokai. Lillia é o segundo, realmente. Depois Ivern. Uau. Zyra. Tá, Lillia é o segundo.
answers into Lillia were Vi, but you get outscaled at 2 items because Lillia gets Zhonya's. So they often picked like...
Não, tipo assim, isso aqui eu não gosto. Isso aqui eu não gosto. Ah, Lillia contra Vi. Você toma outscale se você vai porque a Lillia builda zonas. Cara, primeiro de tudo, você não pega Vi pra jogar contra a Lillia, você pega Vi pra jogar contra o time inimigo. Se os caras não tem, sei lá, uma Zaya, você tá bem ainda, mesmo com a Lillia de zonas, você não vai ficar ultando ela. É isso que eu não gosto. Entendeu? Tipo assim, aqui ele tá meio que manipulando um pouco a narrativa da parada. Não é que a Lillia dá outscale na Vi porque ela builda zonas e a Vi fica inútil. Não, a Vi joga contra o time inteiro. Que nem a Lillia.
Vi compositions by Rumble, etc. Or they picked Viego, which is a jungle that like wins 1v1 versus Lillia, can find Lillia early.
Ganha um V1 da Lillia e consegue achar a Lillia cedo. Shinzal faz isso. Porra, Nidalee faz isso. Kindred faz isso. Pode virar e falar que Chaco faz isso. Chaco faz isso, pô. Tá ligado? Chaco faz. Ele pega level 2 e invade a Lillia. E ganha um V1 dela. Porra.
Or, and here's the third option, Maokai. And Maokai was almost always banned.
É.
Right?
Roubado.
So when you look at the game, Lillia for him, they had three answers, and the three answers were not so good, right? You had so they have no push bot, no push mid, counter pick jungle, and what ends up happening in 4-5? Well, we end up taking the Leona blind. Now this is not a call that I opted for. This is something that Prods wanted. For me, it doesn't really make sense here, but I can understand as a takeaway, right? So what was Prods thinking here? Well, for me, it's very obvious. Prods didn't want to play against Curry's Braum or Curry's Alistair, right? Because Curry's best champions are Alistair, Braum, and then Rel, right? So by taking Alistair and Braum away, he wants to take away the best pairing left with Leona. So Prods is actually not drafting for comp here, he's drafting for individual. And that's okay, because if you want confidence going into the series, it's completely fine to do that, right? And we have more tools than one. We have Jhin for setup, so that's kind of the idea behind the Leona. Lillia for sure is a very good pick in 14-15, guys. Lillia for sure is like the highest contested jungler in this patch. You can just see off like the presence. So 42% presence, but when you look at top leagues, you're looking at 50 to 60%. And the reason it's super highly contested is because you're assuming that Maokai is going to be banned and Sejuani is not so good into Lillia. Like Lillia counter Sejuani, right? So
Não, isso é verdade. Tipo assim, Sejuani não é boa contra a Lillia. Só que a Lillia tem que criar em cima da Sejuani.
in regions where people can play Nidalee,
Tipo eu.
right? Lillia prior goes down.
Sim.
But if Nidalee is not very good in the region, so for example, like Nidalee is terrible in Brazil. Everyone agree?
Não.
There's maybe two junglers that can play Nidalee, and that's Carioca and Decimus. And we were sure that Carioca wouldn't play Nidalee in the series. So when Maokai is out in the game, Lillia becomes naturally the highest priority jungler inside the game because Nidalee is not really a champion, right? So Maokai is permabanned. So now
Que houve, meu amor? Engasgou? Me engasgou.
you have to play Brando Sejuani. Why is Brando Sejuani not so good into Lillia? Well, Lillia wins 1v1 versus Brand. She has a really easy time playing team fights, and you just farm faster, so you outscale, right? And Sejuani just straight up loses the whole game. So for sure, like Lillia is a very, very highly contested pick, especially in a region that doesn't play Nidalee. And of course, both junglers really, really like playing the champion, right? So when you pair the Nidalee, when you pair the Lillia with a champion like Nautilus or Jhin,
Lillia luta teamfight mais fácil que Brand? Cara, não é que é mais fácil, tá ligado? Não é mais fácil. Tipo, Brand é um champion simples. Tu aperta R, no que o R bate, você aperta E e você fez seu papel.
the champ becomes very, very strong to play. Ivan is not so good into Lillia too. Ivan is really bad into Lillia and Brand. Because you lose 1v1 and you just get kited. And basically,
Porra, a Ivan pede view pra tudo, caralho.
you get out-damaged and outscaled. So Ivan is a champion that's really strong level 1 to 4. And then in early mid-game, you spike really hard. Because you get shielding items, and shielding items are really cheap, right? But once again, like Nidalee Renekton is not a thing this series, guys. People are not playing Nidalee Renekton. So if you look at Pain Game 1 draft, it's really fucking terrible. Because they're taking losing bot matchup, losing push, losing jungle, losing mid pro. Right? And then they opt to blind Jax into Lillia, which is really good into Jax, into Corki that can play very well into Jax, Jhin, one of the best AD carries into Jax. And then I think into Leona it's okay, but into Cassante it's very, very annoying to play. Because the lane is kind of hard to play and you can't make progress inside and you have so much disruption. Like Cassante W and Cassante ulti is like really annoying for Jax, especially in teamfights. So we outrange.
Não acho que é ruim pro Jax jogar contra Cork, não acho que é ruim pro Jax jogar contra Jhin. Ou acho que é ruim pro Jax jogar contra Lillia, por causa da Relay. É chato contra Cassante e é bom contra Leona.
We have better jungle, faster clear. We just have a much better composition here.
Jungler melhor. Não sei se Lillia é o jungler melhor.
And what else do you notice about Pen Gaming Draft? Smolder is what, guys? Smolder is AD, right?
Mais ou menos.
Ezreal is AD.
Esse é AD. Mas dá dano mágico
Ezreal
também.
is AD. Giga, Jax is AD. They're full AD, right?
Jax, olha só. EZ dá dano AP no W e na ult e no E. Jax dá dano mágico no W e no R, né, na passiva. E Smolder dá true damage.
So they're playing full AD composition into Leona Cassante with no mid prio, counter pick jungle, and no push bot. Right? So for me, this draft is actually kind of unlosable. And no offense to Sarkis and no offense to Coelho, but I was both their dads in this series. No offense. No offense to Coelho, but I was both their dads in this series. No offense.
But I was what?
To Sarkis and no offense to Coelho,
Coelho?
but I was both their dads in this series. No offense.
Ah, both did that in the series. Então a Red fez isso e o Sarkis fez isso.
I can talk about the Red series after. Yeah, I lost.
Ah,
We played
both
fucking
their
bad.
dads. Entendi.
So it just comes down to, okay, we can't give Pain Maokai. We can't give Pain Rumble. Rumble's the best top lane in the patch by far. And Ashe gives bot prior to Pain, which is one of the ways they want to play.
Sim,
It gives an engage option to Pain, so it's
Sim.
probably one of the best champions for Pain,
sim.
right? So
Boa leitura.
you either have to give Ezreal or Ashe.
E não
Right?
tem problema da EZ.
And by that logic, you're telling me, okay, so I have to ban Lillia, Corki, Ezreal, Smolder, Rumble, Maokai, and Ashe. And Jhin. You can't ban every champion. You have to make a choice. Right? And in this game, by the way, Corki and Cassante is much better inside, or should be. Because this Jack should always be behind. He should always be outranged.
Shape.
And
E aí, Kui.
E aí, chefão, tava falando de tu hoje, mano, conversando com o Butcher. Tá bem?
Corki wins side versus Smolder until 3 items. So we need to kind of snowball the game early, but we should. And they want to scale until like 40 minutes into the game. That's essentially the game plan. And you need to think about like the team that we're playing against, right? So Pain is a team that really wants to play early games, early mid games, because they're not a team that plays side lane very well in general. They're not a team that plays side lane very well. They're not a team that plays 3 lanes very well. If I was playing versus, for example, Loud, we would need to change the draft completely.
Pô, mais
So,
ou menos,
for
né?
example, okay,
A Loud
let's
de
go to
hoje.
Catan. People say, oh my god, like, guys, you can't draft just on the champion, right? So, I have to ban Ashe by your logic. I have to ban Jhin by your logic. And I have to ban Ezreal, and I have to ban Maokai, and I have to ban Rumble.
Não, ele tá
Right?
certo. Nisso aí que ele tá falando tá certo.
Um,
Você não tem como banir
you
todos os
could leave
champions.
Maokai, Ashe, and Rumble
É
open.
impossível.
No, but they can always choose, right? They can always just ban one. So, I mean, like, you can't leave Maokai, Ashe, and Rumble open, because they'll just first pick Rumble.
Sim,
And then it's just fucking bad.
sim.
Like, Sejuani's open, right? So, say I ban Sejuani,
E aí, Brucinho?
they can either take Maokai Cannon into Rumble, and they have the best jungle for their team composition, or they can take Rumble with Maokai, and we have to play Sejuani into it. Like, Maokai is a much better champion for them, right?
Não, Maokai é bom.
So, guys, like,
Porra, Maokai é roubado.
Let's
mano.
just say in this game we won, you guys would say that I'm a draft genius, right?
Não.
And if you actually look at the contents of the game, what happened?
Lauro Lipinski.
Enemy team has
Salve,
Ezreal, one of the
Revoltinha.
strongest patches, one of the strongest champs in the game, in level 1 to 3. Right? No, but both sides have in level 1 to 3. Right? No, but both sides have great picks. It just comes down to execution, guys. Let's actually look at the game. Let's actually look at the way the game played out, right? So VKS, for some reason, decides to late invade blue side with Ezreal. So we're outranged and we lose level 1. Right? Bro. For people that say that Ezreal has magic damage, you're really kind of trolling, you know? Like, the only magic damage you have is WE. I mean, yeah, it's basically WE, like 80% of his damage, because you can't count his...
É basicamente 80% do kit dele, que é o WER.
ultimate as magic damage, right? 85 to 90% of Ezreal's damage is AD, bro.
Sim, grande parte do dano do EZ é AD,
Right?
que vem do Q dele.
So if you kind of round out the stats, I mean, they're definitely full AD. Jax is like 95% magic, physical damage, guys.
Meu amigo, tu nunca buildou torne meio contra Jax, morreu pra ele, foi ver lá 50% do dano mágico? Porra.
It's not like this, guys, okay? So, I mean, realistically speaking, one, if you count on with execution playing in CBLOL, bro, you'll never win. Okay, bro, how do you win CBLOL then? How did Loud win 4 times in a row? This is the problem, right? Like, a lot of people are talking without thinking what they're saying. Why not Malphite? Because Malphite is not a Jax counter. You still lose side. And they have a lot of mobility. They have Rakan, they have Ezreal.
Caralho, às vezes, moleque, sem sacanagem, às vezes parece que o Seeel acha que, tipo assim, a gente é um bando de... Pô, não posso nem usar a palavra que... Pô, a gente é um bando de degenerado, tá ligado?
Like, the reason Loud won Pain for many years is
Bando
because
de
Loud
animal,
played
tá
a
ligado?
style, and they just played split, and they played hard to robber, and Wiser fell behind in the game. And Wiser can play 3 champions. The whole reason Loud beat Pain so many times in a row is because of execution. Right?
Cara,
So
geralmente o Seeel ele é muito sensato, mano. Tipo, eu acho ele um bom coach, eu acho que ele tem excelentes ideias. Mas puta que pariu.
we late invade, and we end up having to leave. This late invade can be good too. If prods, if everyone walks in with Decimus together here, and we just flash on one target and fight, it can work. But is it a good play? No, it's not that Pain chokes against Loud. It's just Loud stylistically is much better against Pain. Because Pain do not know how to play side lane. So the reason Loud was beating Pain is because Loud could always play side lane, and in early mid game they could neutralize. So it was very, very hard in terms of execution for Pain to ever beat Loud, because Pain have a very flawed game plan. Right?
Ah, não acho que o
we
gameplay
level one invade,
da
we
PEN
get
é
mega
falho.
and now Lillia is really late to clear, and Sejuani
Mas
has a
sim,
tempo lead.
ele tem uma certa razão.
Right? So already the game is really bad. And then we have the grub fight, right? So this grub fight, Curry ints the engage. We one-shot Curry, but we get chunked. So now what you have to think about is, okay, Curry's dead, but he's up in 12 seconds. It's early game. Smolder, Ezreal, Sejuani, and Jax all have flashes, and we have bad condition. So here, the best option here is to just drop. So what really happened here? So one, we're already really far behind in tempo in a game where we should have a lead because of our level 1 plan, right? And we should leave the grubs because like Leona entered, but they have all tools. But what's really important is, okay, it starts from here. Cassante plays 1v3 top, undiveable. He sucks one turn, we get mid priority, and then we get control on river. Beautiful, right? Beleza, beleza. Now, Gigo, with half HP, half mana, wants to base TP. Right? I didn't ban Smolder because it's terrible for them. So now, Cassante wants to base TP, and we have river control, so we just need to not give an engage. But we give Curry the engage, which ends up being good for us because Curry's inting. But because of Jack's TP, Cassante feels obligated to TP instantly. Whereas here, we should just give the confidence to Cassante to just press B and TP later, because we can just kill Curry and get out, right? Or react TP to if Jax overextends, right? So now the problem is, Cassante TPs with half HP, half mana. We're chunked. He doesn't get to base and reset. And Jax, Sejuani, Smolder, and Ezreal all have flashes.
Login.
So they can kind of play on limits. And what we need to do is we need to choose. We need to choose to either drop because they have all spells and all flashes and death timer is very low, right? Or we need to choose to engage instantly on one side, right? We need to instantly Leona flash Q or Leona flash E, Jin W, and try kill one guy, right? With the numbers that we have. So dropping is better for sure, but we need to choose. This TP was not necessary as well. So
isso que ele falou do Gigo é julgamento individual. Tipo, o time não tem como dar em microsegundos confiança para ele não tepar. Ele tem que olhar e ele tem que ter a leitura da play. Então, tipo assim, ele tá certo no que ele tá falando.
What ends up happening is Jin ultis to start the fight, but as you can see by body language, I think Pro Delta is scared of Scuttle Crab a little bit. We're really slow to engage, and we're really slow to make a decision. Right? So now Ezreal is just playing on limits, and now they're playing to buy time for the Rakan. But they know they have all tools to play. This is where like Pain Gaming was much better than us. Right? We used all our tools, and they still have their tools, and their champions outrange us when we don't have tools. If we have Jin ulti or Leona ulti, we have a lot of tools, and we outrange them. But when we don't have these things, they outrange us. So now it comes down to they want to kind of play on limits and wait until Rakan. So what we need to do is explode on them, or we need to drop, right? But we don't, right? We end up playing the fight. We get sucked in one turn. Pro Delta's taking random damage. We're very, very slow to make this decision. Pro Delta's the one calling here. And then we end up getting sandwiched, right? This should never happen. So this is just really bad execution. There's nothing around it. It's just really bad gameplay. And it's just very clear in this game that the players are very nervous, right?
Mas vou falar um negócio pra vocês. Lembra que ele tava falando que a PEN gosta de jogar com 2 ferramentas de engage? Por isso aqui. Quando o Curi não tá, o Carioca toma atitude. Quando o Carioca não tá, o Curi toma atitude. Quando um tem um engage e o outro não, um faz uma coisa. Entendeu? Aqui eles têm uma Lillia Leona, só. Porque Jin não é engage, é follow-up.
So people are saying draft gap, but realistically for me, this draft is like 7-3. Especially considering Pain, it might be 8-2 to VKS. But we do a level 1 drop. We do a level 1 big mistake, and then we end up all dying on Grubs, right? Which makes all of enemy teams super accelerated. And even after, the game stalls. So why does the game stall? 2 reasons. 1, their comp is all AD. So even with Smolder, this fucking Fed, their comp is all AD, and they just don't do enough magic damage to win. And we outscale. It's Sejuani versus Lillia, right? Corki scales very well into the game. He has 3 items. We're spiking right now. Jin scales very hard. Pain is inting because this is their problem. Pain don't know how to close games. Pain don't know how to play 3 lanes. Pain don't know how to split push, right? So the game is even in a game state where we have all tools and enemy is all AD. So we've won every fight for the last 10 minutes. So the game is even. Enemy is all AD. The game is like in our hands. The game
Abel
is in our
Ferreira
hands.
mandou R$2. Eu não vivo com se. Se minha avó tivesse rodas, era um caminhão.
And what do we end up
Esse esculacho pro cara também, né?
doing? My Jin with no flash. We have full vision on Jax. We have full vision on Jax, guys. We're calling Jax, guys. Like, listen to decode the stars. Here, we're calling Jax. We're in a full position. Smiley with no flash, no cleanse. And Corki, with 0 proximity on Corki, steps up and face tanks, and my tanks are in Africa, right? So, we lost this game from, like, individual mistakes. We straight up lost the game from individual mistakes. It was Smiley, and then it was like a dismiss early game, like late invade, and then it was Pro Delta on the grub call, right? So if you look at drafts and the way that we play the map, I think we played the map better, but we made bad decisions when it comes to team fighting. We entered on the grubs, we entered on level 1, and we entered on mid-wave. That's literally why we lost the game. Right? So we can listen to decode this thing after, but for me, this draft is just very, very good for VKS. Pain have no mid prior. Pain have losing jungle matchup with no mid prior and getting outscaled. Bad top matchup.
Cara,
Push on bot
skill, mano.
with counter pick support. Outrange and win side. Because this Jax should never be in a good state in the game. And Lillia is also very good into Jax. So we just execute really bad, we play really bad, and then we go into the second game. So, here is the choice. We take...
Tipo assim, tem alguns detalhes que ele não fala, tá? Por exemplo, o time dele tá lutando topside contra Sejuani e Jax na primeira larva. E Sejuani e Jax é forte pra caralho. Não pode lutar top. Esquece lutar top contra Sejuani e Jax. Se você tem caçante Lillia, esquece. Você não vai ganhar. Até porque a Sejuani, diferente do que ele falou, não pensando só num V1, o primeiro item da Sejuani é muito mais barato do que o primeiro item da Lillia. Então a Sejuani vai estar spikeada, a Lillia não. Por isso que você precisa fazer com que a sua Lillia crie em cima da Sejuani. Se ela não criar em cima da Sejuani cedo, o pique não é bom. Entendeu?
We take away Ezreal and we take away Ashe. And if they blind Jhin, we can just play Misfortune into it, but we have the Maokai, so it's very easy to play fights. We get the most OP jungler in the game. We get Maokai, and they respond with Ivan. Maokai is an Ivan counter. Right? In
Por que Maokai é um counter de Ivern?
both games, they lose jungle priority and they blind Smolder. So what do we get? Once again, we know we can play a lot of things into this Smolder. We practiced Draven. We had Draven mid ready. We had Azir, which is a Smolder counter, and we have champs like Corki. So we're always going to get mid push. We have counter pick jungle. They banned Rumble, okay? Look at the fucking game. So we have the best jungle in the game, counter pick jungle, we have mid push, and we have the best AD left in the game because Ezreal and Ashe is gone. And we get the best blind on blue side. Renekton, right? Well, at least in this game. We can drop to 4-5. I think dropping to 4-5 is maybe slightly better. But against Pain Gaming, Wiser historically performs very bad against Renekton.
Não. Wiser performa mal contra o Renekton do robô. Ponto.
So, I think if Pain played a good game in this series, we should have got 3-0 GA. I think we choked really hard. So then we take the
Vó
Jhin.
com Rodas mandou R$5.
Fala.
Então na teoria nós é foda, mas no Rift nós entorta?
Cara, eu devia ter colocado isso antes, mano.
And then we ban 280 carries. Right? We ban Kai'Sa and we ban Misfortune, which is the best for their composition. And they have for Xayah. So what does this mean? Once again, they have... Like, Olaf vs Renekton is actually, like, not good for the Olaf side, bro. Like, it's fine in the matchup. But, so what does this mean? Once again, they have... Like, Olaf vs Renekton is actually, like, not good for the Olaf side, bro. Like, it's fine in the matchup, but both sides are 50-50 and Renekton gets the push early game. So...
Ivern tem 77% de win rate em 9 jogos contra Maokai? Sim, porque na teoria a redenção e o cadinho são itens muito bons pro Ivern e muito bons contra Maokai. Só que pro Ivern funcionar contra o Maokai, você tem que fazer uma composição que seja boa pro Ivern. Entendeu? Não é que o Ivern cautera o Maokai ou o Maokai contra o Ivern. São dois gêneros de composição.
Now we have mid push, best AD. It's the freest matchup in bot lane. We have best blind top, and Wiser is on Olaf. The three best champions for Wiser are Cassante, Gnar, and Rumble. So he's off all of his comfort, and they have jungle counter.
Pô, adiciona,
right?
Adiciona o Jax nessa lista aí, por favor.
No, we are worse than Pain. Let's be real. In this series, Pain completely outplayed us. They were the better team today. In this day, Pain was the much better team. But I think it's egregious and facetious to say that Pain was like so much better. Like in the last game, they had a full AD draft, worst draft, and the game went to 31 minutes and it came down, or 35 minutes or 31 minutes, and the game literally came down to Smiley dying with no flash against an all.
Cara, a PEN é melhor do que a KEYD no que eles se propõem a fazer. Se o draft da KEYD foi melhor do que o da PEN, e dentro do jogo os seus jogadores não são disciplinados ou não tem noção que o level 1 deles é ruim ou não tem noção que os Grubs têm que sair, parte disso é culpa do coach.
Xmisung.
É isso que eu não gosto dessa postura, de tipo, que parece. Eu não acho que seja necessariamente o que ele tá fazendo, né? De tipo, tacar os jogadores under the bus. Não acho. Eu acho que ele tá tipo, só falando, mas a impressão que passa é essa, entendeu? E eu não gosto disso.
Full AD comp and 2 tanks, right? So this is a really close game. I think everyone agrees. We're only 1k gold down against a full AD comp, and a comp where we should be ahead because we make really silly mistakes early game and they still can't close. And in second game, we have we have range. We spike hard at 2 items. We have the best
Eu não gostei dessa Zaya só.
jungle. I think this is the draft where people can argue that Pain maybe won the draft, in my opinion. If there's a and they still can't close. And second game, we have we have range. We spike hard at 2 items. We have the
Tem range, spike com 2 itens, melhor jungler.
best jungle. I think this is
Mas esse é o draft que a Pain pode ter ganho.
the draft where people can argue that Pain maybe won the draft, in my opinion.
Caralho.
If there's a draft where Pain can argue that they won the draft, this is the draft. Why? Because Ivan is very strong level 1 to 4. And in this game, Ivan and Olaf together is very difficult to deal with at 3+ items. At 3 to 4 core, the game is very, very hard for our team. Right? Nautilus is going to get melted. Right?
Sim, o Nautilus tá fudido. A gente até falou isso na transmissão com o Absolute Tocão. A gente falou, mano, o trabalho do Prodelta é rucar e morrer esse jogo. E fé.
Once again, for me, support pick was a problem. It came down to comfort. Prodelta was very confident on Nautilus. We self kind of picked our support. But it's fine. What happens in the game? Well, in my opinion, we have a slightly worse draft than Pain Gaming.
Não, eu entendo que...
I think our 1-2-3 was okay.
Eu entendo que Zaya foi conforto. Só que eu não gostei mesmo assim. Eu acho que foi um pick ruim.
Our third pick could be better, right? And I think that Pain had the better draft in game
Não é
2.
porque
I think
ganhou,
we had the much better
que é bom,
draft in
tá
game
ligado?
1. I think Pain has a slightly better draft in game 2. But we play better in game 1, right? We play better in game 2. So what ends up happening in game 2?
Jogamos bem jogo 1, perdemos. Jogamos bem jogo 2, perdemos. Jogamos mal jogo 3, ganhamos. Aí o segredo.
Is we kind of go even, and then we make 2 really good plays on the map. One is we take T2 bot with the so-called Herald bug, which was allowed in LCK, LPL, CBLOL. We asked Riot, and they used it themselves on scrims. But apparently it's a bug, which Riot said we can use, by the way. And Jin in both games performed really well, right? Like Jin in this game performed really well. He was top damage. He was 329 with 3 core, 1v90 in this game. In this game, he was really fed too, right? So what happened this game? The game was somewhat even, but we used Herald really well on bot side, and we ended up trading top really fast. So from this position, the game is unlosable, even though I think Pain has a slightly better draft. Right? I think still Victor gets Prior into the smolder. We get Prior. We can challenge Prior bot. We can contest Prior top. We have the best jungle. But I think that at 3 to 4 items, Olaf is much better. So I think Pain is favored in this draft, but with
Revolta, eu sou veterinário. A tua gata quer sair de cima de você e está muito desconfortável.
$3k gold up with position, and we're spiked, right? So something that Pain does is they never know how to play through side properly in objectives. They don't play through side fast if they don't have mid prior. They always play mid into side,
Sim.
which is really troll. So now we
Henrique
know
mandou R$5. A impressão que passa é que ele montando o deck dele no Magic ganhou o draft e não precisa nem jogar a partida DAI.
A porra do Bolsonaro falando isso é foda.
they're doing the Pain gaming, which is like they play through here really late. They're very late to set up. And we have full position and full vision. So it's very hard for them to enter. So what do we need to do here? All we need to do is Lelico needs to sit on left side and we need to play to peel. Right? Now, the reason we need to play to peel is because Pain is playing a composition that can play in 2 turns really well. Right? What I mean by 2 turns. Olaf can suck 1 turn of engage with his ultimate and run at us. And Rel can follow up engage, and Daisy and Ivan can follow up shield. So what you need to do is you need to play on range with Victor, who is outranging and stronger than the Smolder right now. The Smolder is actually not very strong. I know he's 30 CS up, but he has very little stacks, guys. The Smolder, if you click on Smolder at one point, you'll know what I mean. The Smolder is very, very weak at this point. He has 2.5 core. He's a full core behind Leleco.
Não, ele não tá um core, porque um dos itens do Leleco é Morelo, pô.
Items are more expensive. So what ends up happening here? Well, we hold this bush and Smiley calls to play one more bot wave. But this bot wave does nothing because there's no objective bot. There's no tower, there's no objective, there's nothing to play for, right? So all we need to do is play here and hold formation. Victor just needs to press E, Jin needs to press W on Victor E, Nautilus just needs to hold his spells, and we just play on poke with Maka E, understand? And then it's very, very hard for the red side to play.
Concordo.
So we do have a ward in this push.
Concordo com ele, é uma situação muito difícil pra PEN aqui. Concordo pra caralho.
Know that they're playing through bot, so we don't need to ward the banana. So Leleco plays for bot wave because Smiley calls for bot wave. We lose our formation here. We break our formation.
Sim.
So what it should be is Titan and Pain Gaming should have a very hard time taking this pixel brush and entering into Dragon. But we make the mistake and we break our formation. Beleza. Tudo bem. All we need to do is understand Leleco lost flash here. Okay? So now we know that Pain Gaming have proximity. So what do we need to do? We need to drop and we need to replay here.
Sim.
No, the flash didn't lose the fight. Predator lost the fight. We need to play here. We need to play as a group as 5 here. And just play as a ball and let them come into us. Because Nautilus will hold ulti and ulti the backline. So the follow-up on Olaf will be very slow. We'll suck one turn and then we'll play one turn again after, right? But the problem is... no, the problem was that Leleco went for bot wave, guys. Okay? Pay attention to the class. Pay attention to the class. So Leleco should not be here to begin with. We should not play for this bot wave. We should play here already.
Sim.
We should be playing to hit Drake and poke them as they come in.
Sim.
So now, Leleco is out of position. And here, what we should be thinking is, okay, because Leleco is out of position and they're playing as with proximity as 4, Leleco can't hit. Because they can play as a block as 4 and Leleco is 1v4 because he's isolated, right? But what ProDelta does is he engages 1v4. He engages on the Olaf, right? And the reason he engages on the Olaf is he thought Olaf had no ultimate. So if you listen to decode this, what's it called?
Henrique mandou R$5.
We can actually...
Revolta, pergunta seria agora. Se existir um campeonato de montar draft, é taça pra nós então?
Só mais 72 horas.
Watch it.
O Seeel devia jogar TFT. Caralho.
And you'll kind of understand what I mean. So you can actually listen to both situations. So this is game 2.
Eu tenho um ponto pra falar disso que é muito importante. Me lembrem quando ele acabar de mostrar isso aqui, tá?
So here...
We don't engage here.
So Giga says we don't engage here. He knows exactly what's happening. And Leleco got called to hit bot wave. So this is Smiley inting. So here, what's the correct call? The correct call here is Leleco to say, guys, I'm out of position. I can't hit.
Mas o Leleco não
And then
fala.
they reposition. But they don't. That's point 1. But point 2 is... So Prod says Olaf no ult and engages on the Olaf with ult. But
Não, isso aqui tem um atraso no áudio. Ele fala isso quando o Olaf
Giga
ulta.
just said don't fight. And Leleco is out of position, right? So what ends up happening is Olaf has ult. Giga doesn't want to fight. Decimus doesn't want to fight. Smiley doesn't want to fight. Olaf starts running at the Nautilus and they full engage and Leleco can't hit. Look. Our strongest member can't play. So if Smolder can't play and Victor can't play because Smolder and Victor are matching, then it's much better for Pain, right? Because Pain is playing 4v4 and this Olaf has ulti with Ivan, right? So this group of 4 is not playing with Leleco. So here, there's a lot of issues. One, as a team, they should understand how to play this.
Qual que é o negócio? Vocês lembram, eu não sei quantos de vocês acompanhavam minha live quando eu comecei a fazer live assim que eu me aposentei, né, lá em 2021. Mas a gente tinha um negócio aqui na live que a gente assistia vários podcasts, né, durante a noite. Ele dava 10 horas da noite, a gente começava a ver podcast, ficava até de madrugada vendo podcast, né? Naquela época, eu já tinha falado um negócio que me incomoda até hoje, que é o seguinte: todas as vezes que eu vejo alguma pessoa do cenário falando sobre alguma situação do cenário, ela fala sempre sobre as outras pessoas que estavam envolvidas, nunca sobre ela mesma. Isso me incomoda. Tipo assim, esse exemplo que o Seeel tá dando, vamos voltar um pouco aqui. Em que ele fala que o Smiley deu a call de puxar a wave do bot. E que o Leleco não devia estar aqui. O que acontece? Existe um conceito, deixa eu ver se a PicPay está aberto. Muito simples. É um conceito muito simples. Que vocês sabem aqui, meus fiéis, vocês sabem. É o conceito do choke point. Né? Isso aqui é um choke point. Né? Isso aqui é um choke point. Isso aqui é um choke point. O que acontece? O Victor, ele quer dominar isso aqui. No momento em que você tem um jogador de mago de controle, ele tem que saber que essa área aqui é a área que ele controla. Ele sabe que o time inimigo tá por aqui, vai entrar por aqui. Certo? Beleza. O que acontece? Caso o time inimigo venha por aqui, o Victor vai estar aqui, ele dá um E aqui. O time inimigo vai tentar vir por aqui, o Victor dá um E aqui. Quando eles passam dessa linha, o Victor dá o W. E eles são obrigados a voltar. No que eles são obrigados a voltar, é o tempo que o seu time já está fazendo objetivo, enquanto o time inimigo está entrando no objetivo meia-vida. Só que o que acontece? Se o Smiley vira e fala: guys, vamos jogar mais uma wave bot, e o seu jogador é consciente desse conceito, ele sabe que não é papel dele ir pegar aquela wave. Esquece que é errado pegar a wave do bot. Entenda que mesmo se é certo pegar a wave do bot, não é o Victor que deve pegar essa wave. Não é. Quem tem que pegar essa wave, ou é o Smiley, ou é o Viego. Porque o Leleco tem que controlar isso aqui. Entendeu? O Leleco, a gente esquece, mas ele é um jogador de academy. Então ele tem que se desenvolver. Ele tem que aprender essas coisas. Então quando eu vejo essas atitudes, tipo, a call foi errada, o Smiley trollou, depois o Prodelta deu engage, perdeu o jogo por causa disso. É uma perspectiva. Outra perspectiva é: meu jogador não aprendeu o conceito de choke point corretamente. Se ele soubesse isso, não importava a call errada do Smiley, porque essa situação nunca existiria se ele soubesse. E a gente possivelmente ganharia essa fight. Entendeu? Então, tipo, quando eu vejo pessoas falando sobre histórias do cenário ou situações do cenário, é sempre os outros. É o Smiley trollando, o Prodelta dando engage. Sim. Porém, tem a sua parte nisso tudo também.
Should not be here to begin with. We should... guys, because strongest member can't play.
Perceba.
So if Smolder can't play and Victor can't play, because Smolder and Victor are matching, then it's much better for Pain, right? Because Pain is playing 4v4, and this Olaf has ulti with Ivan, right? So this group of 4 is not playing with Lelico. So here, there's a lot of issues. One, as a team, they should understand how to play this team fight. But 2, Prods engages. And 3, Lelico, there's actually 3 issues. Lelico doesn't say anything. Lelico should say, Guys, I can't hit. This game, I think Payne had a slightly better draft, but we ended up getting ahead in the game, and we were in a position to win, but we misexecuted. So now we're 0-2. But both games, if you look at the context, right? It's 26 minutes in. Vivo KEYD is in a strong, dominating, winning position, right? And in the first game, they had a better draft in a strong, dominating, winning position. And both games were very, very close. Within 1k gold lead, and this game, we had a 2k gold lead, right? So realistically, this is a situation where it could have been a 3-0 day. It could have been a 3-0 day where VKS just 3-0s a Payne Gaming. But we lose both games. Beleza, tudo bem. Vamos de nós, right? So now, let's look at jogo 3.
Jogo 3. Sabe, tá
Because
falando
we're
português
down 2
bem, o
games
Seeel,
and they
tá?
have the momentum, we need to do something to change the momentum. And this is very obvious. So this is a situation where we just say, we need to pick Kalista to just take the fucking momentum away from them, right? And to be honest, Titan thought we don't know he plays Ziggs. We knew that Ziggs was a possibility, but
Cara,
my team was convinced that he would be very bad at it.
Esse foi o jogo em que o Smiley jogou muito de Kalista, foi, né? Ele é muito bom de Kalista, mano, o Smiley.
Right? But what's delusional? I mean, both games we're losing to micro and small mistakes. So,
Esse é o que ele foi solado, tá.
so Ziggs is actually a really good champion into Kalista. Ziggs is a really good champion into Kalista.
Por causa do range, do
We
zone
thought he
control.
could play it, but he would be bad at it, and he wouldn't pick it. So, this Kalista pick was very obvious.
Sim, você ficou num 2,
This
eles
Kalista
viram.
pick was very
Por
obvious.
isso que era
Both sides knew that they would answer the Kalista and we would play Kalista. So yeah, I did fart. So it just comes down to, yeah, I just farted. It just comes down to the fucking play, right? It comes down to the play, which is, we have bot prio, we have counter pick support.
Gosta dos Ziggs do Titã? Cara, acho o Titã bom de qualquer merda. Mas um pouco menos de Ziggs.
We have mid contests, we scale in the game, we have jungle contest, we have jungle counter, and we have top counter. So we have Nara into Cassante, top counter. We have Vi into...
É tipo Seeel. Tá ligado? Tá ligado aquela analogia que eu e o Toques fizemos? É tipo você ter o Messi e botar ele no gol. É que nem pegar o Titã e botar de Ziggs. Você pega o Titã e bota de Seeel. Ah, porque é bom na lane. Foda-se, porra. Que é bom na lane, caralho.
Sejuani, which is jungle counter. We have Azir into Smolder, which is mid counter. We have Kalista into Ziggs, which is Ziggs favored, but we have support counter. Alistar into Rel, so bot matchup is actually not easy for them. So they have 3 losing lanes and losing jungle matchup. Right?
Losing jungle matchup. Caralho, eu não tanco com essas coisas. Parece que eu voltei pra 2014, viado. Losing jungle matchup todo jogo, mano. Caralho, viado. Que isso?
So if you look at the game, we're up 3.5k gold, 5-0. If this is a scrim game, this game finishes in 25 minutes.
Ah.
This game finishes at 25 minutes.
But
we choke, right? We choke. So the game drags all the way out to Elder Dragon. And why does it go all the way out to Elder Dragon? Well, let's look at some of the situations. We have 3 dragons up. We take the Nash. And, I mean, look at the way we play here. So we know enemy Smolder. I think he was here or the fight before. There was a fight before in Drake 3. It was Drake 3. We know we have Kalista, Alistar, and Vi, guys. So what is the kind of theme of our composition? The theme of our composition is to engage. Guys, all 4 drafts are bad for fucking Payne in terms of team fighting. And I'll go over that in a second. Right? Arquitetura valeu pela sub. Tamo junto. So here we have winning jungle, winning AD, winning mid, winning bot, winning jungle, winning mid, and winning top matchup. Okay? And we have a full engage comp into a range comp. Ziggs and Smolder want to poke, and we want to...
Sim, ele tá certo nisso.
Hard engage counters poke. So how do we want to fight? We want to just fucking go in. We want to fucking go in and fuck them. Right?
Legal.
Sopa de sapato, valeu pelo sub.
Sopa de sapato.
Gratícia, obrigado pelo sub. Obrigado,
Gratícia.
Deus.
Puta que
Tamo
pariu.
junto. Tamo junto, viu? So, what should we do? Okay, guys, let's look at the situation. We're playing into Drake 3. The game is a complete stomp. Smolder, no flash, guys. So if Smolder is no flash, what should we do? We should engage, right? But they shouldn't disrespect us. The games were really close, you know? We should engage, right? So we take river, we herald mid, and the call here should be to hard engage into enemy team. But you know what we're calling here? We're calling to flip the dragon. We can just press ult and kill them, but we're playing to flip the dragon. So we are for sure choking here. We are fucking choking. We're up 3k gold and we're fucking choking on a fat cock. So here, we're hitting the fucking dragon. Why do we give this line bush? Why do we give
Phoenix Rex mandou R$5. Coloquei minha carta Maokai virada para baixo e olha no que deu. GG? Sim. Teoria Flawless Victory.
Só. Pô, vocês também escaralham a parada, pô.
banana bush? Just fucking Q ult, Smiley ult, and they're fucking all dead. They're all dead. They have no flash, smolder, and a fucking Ziggs. How they win fight? We have Mega now.
Ué,
Impossible.
cura V9.
We have Azir ulti, Azir flash, Vi ulti, Callista ulti. Can lose. Can lose. But Prot's here, and the team is calling to flip the dragon. So what do? We flip the dragon. And then what happens? We get 3-man engaged. Ziggs ulted and died. But if we engage first, they fucking die.
Sim, eu concordo com ele aqui. Eu acho que ele tá certo. Eu acho que o time dele fez merda aqui pra caralho. Eu acho que a call foi errada. E se eles só forem pra frente, eles ganham. E o Leleco jogando de Azir... Pô, mano, eu não quero que o Leleco veja isso. Ele acha que eu odeio ele, eu acho ele horroroso, tá ligado? Pô, tu é bom, Leleco, mas pelo amor de Deus, mano. Pô, tu jogou isso aqui com a tua bunda, viado. Caralho, mano, parece que tu tá, sei lá, mano. Parece que tu sentou com o teu mouse jogando essas fights, mano. Pelo amor de Deus, mano.
They fucking die. But what
Olha
should
ele.
fucking die?
Soldado, tá ligado? Mano, EQR.
But what should happen? Here they're already dead. In my screen they're dead. Fucking Callista dashes forward, Giga dashes forward, Prodelta WQs, Callista ultis, Vi ultis. They're fucking dead. This Smolder is dead on my screen.
Será essa tática de xingar os jogadores próprios parte do processo? Sim, Rocha, o processo de demissão.
Smolder has no flash. But we flip the dragon. So the game becomes messy because we're choking. And we call to flip the dragon
Metade dos jogadores que ele tá xingando aí não vão ficar pro ano que vem.
3 times. And we lose all 3 flips. So here, to be honest, it's a mega draft gap. We end up still securing this win. But realistically, let's have a look at the game, okay? We have full engage into poke. So thematically we win here, right? Thematically we're winning. This is game 2.
Mega Malol mandou R$5. Já que somos campeões mundiais de draft, já passa o gabarito do bolão. O óbvio pra mim não é o óbvio pra eles. Coach Seeel na PEN é Worlds 2024.
Cara, pior que eu não imagino o coach Seeel sendo o coach da PEN, sabia? Tipo assim, a PEN é um daqueles times, mano, que tipo... Parece que eles nasceram pro dinheiro e o dinheiro nasceu pra PEN, mano. Eu não consigo ver a PEN sem o dinheiro e o dinheiro sem a PEN. Sabe?
We have range plus peel into range. We're playing range versus range. They're not playing engage. They're playing Zaya, which is to disengage, and Smolder, which is to poke, right? So when you play disengage compositions, poke compositions counter disengage compositions, and engage compositions are countered by things like Zaya, right? Do we want to engage this game? No. We want to play with Jin and Victor poke and Maokai poke, right? So thematically, they lose team fights here. They lose game 3 team fights, and let's look at game 1. What do we have, guys? We have engage with engage, but we have counter engage with Lillia. So all 3 games, actually, thematically, is really, really fucking bad for Pain.
Pô, mano,
Really, really fucking bad for Pain.
não
They
concordo,
have
velho.
3 losing lanes in almost every game, losing jungle matchup, losing thematically. In terms of
Tinaus mandou R$5. Agora eu sei onde foi parar toda a minha erva PQP, Seeel maldito.
Cara, quanto tá esse bagulho de voz do Bolsonaro, mano? Não é possível. Mano, eu não consigo ficar sério com essa porra, mano. Escuta a voz do Bolsonaro. Fala, Tinaus mandou R$5. Puta que pariu. O que o cara mandou? Puta que pariu. Agora eu sei aonde foi todos os meus 40 gramas. Sil, filho da puta. O Bolsonaro falando, pô, sem condições, velho. Sério
of the
mesmo.
team fight, and we're mis-executing. That's the truth. We're mis-executing, and you can see this. So now, game 4. Then
Lembrando que o Bolsonaro ficou inelegível por bolar o pior prensado da história. Que? Tem vídeo do Bolsonaro bolando prensado?
that first pick in Italy, and we have 2 options here. So Lillia has game 4. They end up first pick in Italy, and we have 2 options here. So Lillia has 3 counters. Lillia has Vi, in which you can try to explode the game before Lillia gets Zonias. Or you can pick Viego, which duels the Lillia with a Seeel.
Ah não, mano, esse papo da Lillia e vai e Zonias eu não aguento, velho. Que vontade de comer minha mesa, mano.
So Viego finds Lillia and tries to 1v1 and stops Lillia from impacting the map and Azir free scales. Right? Or you can opt to play things like Maokai, which are going to be banned inside the game.
Sim, Maokai é
There's
foda.
one other option that we could have picked here, which was to pick Corki in Italy.
Corkin
So
dali.
on stage, we were discussing what to pick. Right? On stage, we were saying we should pick Corki because we don't want to give them Corki Lillia, which is too comfort for Pain. They will have mid push. And we can play Nidalee, Corki, Lillia. We can play Nidalee, Corki, and Jin, which is outrange comp into Lillia, which is good into Lillia,
Sim.
with mid push and counter pick, right? Counter pick support. The problem is, and here really is the problem. We just had a game where Azir 1v9 the game. So Viego is a Lillia counter, historically, right? So we just had a game where Azir 1v9 the game. And Lerko said, give me Azir. So in a best of 5, the meta changes. Right?
No
The
here,
meta changes
no here.
And the champion strength changes. So Azir Viego this game was really completely fine. If in the game, my bot lane didn't go 0-6, you guys would say, oh my god, this Viego pick so clutch, fucking amazing. But because you guys are stupid, and you don't understand League of Legends, you say, oh my god, why pick Viego? Unfortunately, that's actually the truth. I'm sorry. Am I wrong? Tell me I'm wrong. Bro. It's... No offense. No offense. Guys, it's Jin Nautilus. Jin Nautilus... First of all, Azir Corki matchup is Corki gets pushed, but Azir scales for free. Jin Nautilus always gets push, wave 1, 2, 3. It's Alistar. So my bot lane should get push in this matchup, and is a winning matchup bot. A 2v2. And my Viego is counter
IDL bashed Viego. That's why everyone is repeating that.
picking jungle with a free healing jungler and a counter pick top. So once again, thematically, we're in a really, really good position, and we have very good results on Viego too. So once again, let's go and have a look at Viego stats, right?
De novo
Because people
não.
are saying, oh my god, Viego is such a trash champ.
De novo não.
It's because you don't know the game. No
Ai,
offense.
meu Deus.
It's because you don't know the game. So one of the best counters to Lillia is actually Viego, right? Weak against Lillia here, but you have to look at top regions too, right? One of the best counters to Lillia inside the game thematically has always been Lillia. You can't see because I need to log in, but let's have a look at like all. Okay, it's 40%. So maybe not on the stats, but for us it was. For us it was. So maybe they're right. Maybe they're right. Okay? Maybe Viego's fucking trash. Right? Maybe Viego's fucking trash. It's 10 games. Right? But that was our read on the situation.
Caralho, que merda, ele ficou muito de xereca, mano.
That was our read on the situation. Okay.
Status
calm
game.
down. Okay, calm down. That was our read on the situation. So our 3 plans were
Calm
Maokai to
down.
Lillia, Va into Lillia, Viego into Lillia, or Nidalee into Lillia.
Ficou de xereca
But
dog
just to remind you
draft
once again, guys, it's a best of 5. We just had a 7-0 here last game, right? So, my bot lane
Muito
is meant to
bom.
get push bot 2v2. My bot lane is meant to get push bot 2v2. But my bot lane loses push 2v2. Gets solo killed. Gets solo killed again holding the wave 1v2. And then my bot is 0-1-4. Okay? So I do want to say, okay, maybe the Viego pick was bad. Viego is not playing into range champions. We're playing Viego into Lillia, and we have so much setup for this Viego, right? We have Jhin, we have Nautilus that can lock a champion down. You can play for resets. You also have Nasus Wither into champions like Corki, into champions like Lillia. And you also win side, right?
Bom, o slow do Nasus contra a Lillia é chato mesmo. Contra a Cork acho que não é tão chato não, mas contra a Lillia é chato mesmo.
So you're meant to push 2v2 bots, but we're 1-4.
Cara, é aqui que eu discordo, mano. Eu não acho que eles pegam um punch nessa lane. E eu tenho certeza, se o Titã tivesse assistindo essa porra, ele ia estar rindo. Falando que eles não pegam punch de Jhin Nautilus contra Zell Star. Tá ligado?
D0 Xus. Salve.
Bots. Our top counter pick matchup is 0-1, but mid matchup is fine. Jungle matchup is 0-0-0. So if, here's my question, right? If we didn't have a game where my bot lane starts off 1-5, right? 1-5, and the game is completely even, and my Ezreal is not 4-2,
É foda, né?
would we
Sim.
have reached
Porra, mas não é o que
the same
aconteceu,
conclusion?
né?
For me, this is
Não,
just
né?
classic.
Porra, você tá num outro cenário em que as circunstâncias são diferentes. Você vai ter a mesma conclusão? Óbvio que não, né, porra?
Results orientated breakdowns, you know? For me, it's just results orientated gameplay. The truth is, we have free scaling mid, counter pick top, we win side against Pain, and we have good matchup bot. That's the truth. Right? Jhin once again is just a takeaway from Pain. Right? I explained this many times, I'm not going to explain it again. Pain is a team that wants two sources of engage. So it's very important that Pain can play things like Jhin. They're playing Ezreal because we took away Jhin from them. Right? To give you context.
E eles basicamente não têm nenhuma forma de engage, né? Porque o engage do Alistar também não é lá essas coisas. E se contar o engage do Alistar como forma de engage, ele só tem uma, porque a Lillia também é follow-up. Ou ela dá engage com flash. Flash Q-zônias, né? Flash QR-zônias. Então assim, a PEN provou pra ele que não é bem assim. Eles estão bem confortáveis jogando sem duas formas de engage com o Titã de EZ. E foda-se.
Context. Pain is 100% win rate over 9 games with setup 80 carries. Right? So yeah, I'm very sick. To be honest, the series is very sad. If we ban Ashe, we have to give them Ashe. If we ban Ezreal, they get Ashe, and Ashe is much worse here.
Acho é pior mesmo, é
So
verdade.
it's a choice, you know. We thought that too in the first Pain series, right? I got very drunk after the series, yeah. I got very drunk. So it's like, okay, we have to ban Ashe, we have to ban Jhin, we have to ban Ezreal too. I mean, it doesn't make sense. It's just the way that the team functions, right? So if you actually look at the series was really close. Game 1-2 was really close. Game 1-2 was really, really close. In Game 2, we were in a winning position. In Game 1, we were in a winning position after throwing early. Right? So that's just how it is. But I would say it's been a great journey. The players made a lot of progress. And I do think that the players grew a lot through this year.
Concordo. Especialmente pro Delta. Especialmente pro Delta. Eu não acho que o Pro Delta teve uma boa final, mas eu acho que ele teve o campeonato inteiro jogando de forma impecável. Honestamente, não gostei muito da postura do Seeel nesse vídeo. Eu entendo que a final é recente e tem muito sentimento envolvido. Acho que ele fez um bom trabalho no ano. Não acho que as declarações e a forma como ele colocou tudo aqui apaga tudo que ele fez no ano inteiro e a mudança que ele teve, o impacto que ele teve nos jogadores. Porém, como eu já disse previamente, não gostei da postura dele. Acho que é uma postura muito comum dentro do nosso cenário. Acho que muita gente faz isso, de sempre querer falar do outro e culpar o outro e não fala do seu próprio papel dentro daquilo. Esse foi um dos motivos, né, de eu querer fazer o The Next Move, inclusive. Mas, enfim, acho que tem coisas aqui que ele fala que tem valor, tá ligado? Sobre a PEN até. Tipo, como a PEN joga lento, mid-game, eu concordei. Como o time dele é ruim em algumas coisas. Mas acho que outras também... outras também eu achei viagem total, assim. Eu não sei de onde ele tirou essas coisas. Inclusive, falando de PEN, a gente vai ter PEN e PSG dia 25, né? Quarta-feira. Dia 25, quarta-feira, a gente vai ter PEN e PSG. Se eu não me engano, me corrija se eu estiver errado, chat, mas é às 1 da tarde, não é? Não, meio-dia. Isso, meio-dia. Só que olha só, campeonato internacional, chat. Campeonato internacional sempre começa um pouco antes. Então não acordem meio-dia para ver o primeiro jogo da PEN, que vão chegar já no segundo, tá? Vai ter o Watch Party, já foi anunciado, né? Acho que foi. Já foi anunciado, eu vou ter o Watch Party. O Absol não conseguiu o Watch Party, mas ele tá tentando conseguir, né, o Watch Party. Eu acho que no fim vão liberar o Watch Party para ele. A primeira série é às 9 da manhã, a gente vai estar online já na primeira série. Deve ser o mesmo squad para assistir. Para assistir o jogo da PEN e a primeira série. O vídeo da PSG deve sair amanhã, acabando a live
Vitaleira 1.
eu vou fazer um negócio que o Teusma me pediu. Obrigado pelos 21 meses, viu, Vitaleira? Para finalizar o vídeo, a gente deve estar postando amanhã já o vídeo da PSG. Tá? Não é um vídeo tão longo quanto os outros, porque esse é o quarto vídeo que eu faço sobre a PSG. Pô, também não tem como, né? Já falei muito sobre eles. E caso você esteja vendo esse vídeo aí no canal de cortes, que já tá upado no canal de cortes, esse vídeo deve ser 1h30, né, de vídeo, que eu fiquei vendo o vídeo do Seeel. Eu vou sair do chat. Gosta de aposta? Saiba que a BetBoom tá fazendo uma parada sinistra.
Leo 3.
Eles fizeram um seguro aposta. O que é o seguro aposta? Se você fizer uma aposta de até 50 reais no jogo de PEN contra a PSG e você errar, eles te devolvem o dinheiro. E se você acertar, você pega o lucro. Ou seja, você pode botar 50 reais na PEN pela emoção e ter o dinheiro de volta. Basicamente é isso. A promoção vai até o dia do jogo, se eu não me engano, tá? Então, caso seja na hora do jogo, já acho que a promoção não está ativa, tá? Na hora do jogo. Mas antes vai estar. Beleza?